Hey Kellie Ann, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you so much, VanGo After Dark, for having me on your program today. I'm very excited about the release of our very first animated tutorial video called The Point. And we are absolutely delighted that VanGo is willing to premiere this to their audience. So we're off to a great start. Thank you very much. My name is Kellie Ann. I'm a registered nurse in Alberta. Most of my experience is direct patient care in acute care and emergency.
So where are you located? Where do you live?
I currently live just about an hour northwest of Edmonton in Alberta. I've lived all over BC and even the Northwest Territories.
So what do you do?
Well, I'm a registered nurse.
So what got you to start vaping, or why did you start vaping in the first place?
I discovered vaping because I was a smoker. In 2013, I bought a CE4 with a 650 milliamp battery and absolutely terrible tasting juice. And my first puff, I knew that was the answer for me. I had tried everything over the years to quit. Sometimes I would quit, for a few months or even a few years. I got better at it as I got older, but it was one drag off a cigarette and I was a pack a day smoker within a week, right? So I was very addicted to tobacco smoke, and vaping worked for me. But I just couldn't find very good information on what it was I was inhaling. And having a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, I know how to do research when it comes to anything relating to human health. So I understand what is credible evidence and sources of information are the best sources. So I accessed a medical database and I read 200 to 300 studies and reports and reviewed statistics, etc., and learned a lot about vaping.
So what is VAEP, vape?
I realized that the vast majority of people, including healthcare professionals, are very misinformed about vaping. So I compiled my findings from my research and put it into a paper for people to learn. And that was the beginning of the last 5 years there. And then I branched off and incorporated a vaping advocacy and education project. It's also known as VAEP. And we are incorporated as a federal not-for-profit agency. So what we do is we review complex scientific and medical information, and we make it easy for people to understand by putting into different kinds of formats and translating it into conversational English, right?
So through what avenues do you spread your message?
So currently we have a website that's got a whole bunch of learning resources on there. Everything that we produce is free, which has made it a bit challenging to create a revenue source when you give all your work away, but we're figuring that out. So, and what we're doing next is we're building the Vapology Learning Center. So this is taking it up to the next level in that it's online and interactive. So we have proprietary software that you can try out on our website. And the Vapology Learning Center, or Vapology, has 5 different tools, and one of those tools is animated tutorials. So these are 2 to 3 minute long videos that are on key concepts about vape. So our hope is that somebody could come to the Vapology and they could watch like 5 or 6 videos in 15-20 minutes and then have a very good base knowledge about vaping, just like that, right? So each video is just one concept, and this is what we're going to show you tonight is the first of those videos. This one is a very important concept that people are missing, which is that vaping is a significant harm reduction strategy for current smokers. Currently, social media is how we spread our message. But once we're finished building the learning center, then I'll be advocating directly. So
Can you tell me any specific stories of someone that you helped get through this project?
You know, I've heard from many shop owners and people that I've met in shops that they have used our resources not only to educate smokers, but their family members, politicians, health professionals. So our resources are being utilized, and I'm very grateful to know that because I spent so much time behind the scenes. I'm not there with the end user, right?
So how have you personally been affected by this project?
You know, I mean, you can imagine what it's like to put in 100 and like in 2017 I put in an average of 107 hours a month every single month while working in the hospital as a nurse to fund it, right? So the last few years that I've been developing VAEP has been probably the most challenging thing I've ever done. You know, everything has been sacrificed to bring this project forward. You know, forgive myself along the way because as an RN, I have excellent earning potential. My plan was to be a travel nurse, and I've put all those dreams aside so that I can move forward with this project. And I do that because I believe people have a right to make an informed decision. I'm very excited about the launch of this video. I would like to see it shared wide and far to people outside of the vaping community. Let's get it out to the public. Let's teach people the truth. And let's start with the point. Thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on, Kellie Ann, and thank you so much on behalf of the industry for all that you do for all of us and all the time and dedication you've put into this project.
Thank you so much.
Let's head back into the studio.
Most people are missing the point about vaping, which is that it's a significant harm reduction strategy for current smokers. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you why. Harm reduction is a public health approach to reduce the consequences of risky behaviors. In this case, we're talking about smokers. But let's start with a harm reduction strategy that we're all familiar with. Seatbelts. Seatbelts reduce the risk of serious injury by about 50%. This is the risk you are left with when you buckle up. Another harm reduction we all know about are bike helmets. Bicycle helmets reduce the risk of head injury by 69%. This is the risk you are left with when you use bicycle helmets. In a peer-reviewed published study, experts compared 12 different sources of nicotine, including cigarettes, chewing tobacco, and vaping. Because cigarette smoke is the most harmful source of nicotine, cigarettes were given the value of 100%. It was concluded that vaping reduces the risk of harm by 95%. This is the risk you are left with when you switch from smoking to vaping. Vaping is 5% the risk of smoking. That's what everyone should be talking about. This is the point. This is the point.